Yeah, Masako, you're still not getting the term soon, are you? Yeah, okay, guys, save me from that, please. At least I can be saved, unlike a certain Butterfingers over here. Hey guys, MasakoX here. You guys may have only waited 10 months for this next part of this particular what if, but I still feel the need to apologise. The reason being, like on many other occasions, it's not because I don't want to do it, it's just that loads of other what ifs came up, and for this story, I just ran out of good ideas that were compelling enough to justify bringing it back. After all, I don't think you lot would really want me to cheap out on the particular plot for this story, since it may seem pretty simple on the surface in terms of the overall question, but in reality, it really does open up a lot of big worms to stuff in an overly small can. So for those new to the channel who may not remember or were even aware that this what if existed, allow me to elaborate. In short, when Piccolo saved Gohan from being vaporized by Nappa's mouth cannon, that moment particularly going down as one of the most iconic moments of early Dragon Ball Z, in this timeline though, that failed to happen, as Piccolo failed to rush in quick enough and stop Gohan from being turned into a pile of ash on the ground. Man, that must have been scary. Either way, Gohan here is gone, and Piccolo was unable to save Gohan, which is what our what if is about today. With no Gohan present, things had to change, and one thing that did especially was the fact that Piccolo's journey into becoming a core member of the Dragon Team, or at least nicer, was much faster than before, as he had felt a direct sense of responsibility for not protecting Gohan after his time as his mentor and trainer. From here, Piccolo's redemption arc would be much more proactive, as well as seeing much more of his arsenal of powers being used in the actual fight, and being required in order to stop foes from getting the upper hand, as well as him discovering his Namekian heritage much sooner than before, and much more directly. In the last part, Piccolo had come with the group to Namek to revive their friends, including Gohan, and he had his potential unlocked by Guru, who sensed the young Namekian wanting to protect his allies, as well as feeling a duty to bring Gohan back to life. With a power of around 40,000 now, he is pretty much equal to Nail in raw strength. It's a good thing too, because all this increase in strength has set the stage for Zarbon and Dodoria to intervene, and they have no time to divert the operation. As the two mooks of Frieza make their way to the source of this power, Piccolo can sense this, since with this increase in power, his ability to sense ki, no matter how small, has heightened as well.
Dende, I need you to take the Dragon Balls back to the others. Trouble's coming, and I'm gonna take care of it.
He really shouldn't have reveled in this new potential being unlocked like this. By unleashing all that energy, it's just made him like a candle. But at least he can do something about it. Guru quickly unlocks Dende's potential to aid him in his mission back to the hideout with the Namekian Dragon Ball. And with that, the young one flies off with his quarry. Nail is looking to Piccolo, and soon he can sense what Piccolo could, and they plan to defend Super Kami Guru to the end.
I never realized there was such a gaping hole in my past. Now I know it, I kinda like the idea of being a warrior from birth. Less of the posturing. We have a job to do.
Zarbon and Dodoria arrive at the tower, with Nail and Piccolo standing there ready to fight. Unaware of the fact that Nail is even stronger than Piccolo, the two minions are masking their dread and foreboding, and doing their usual bluster that is common within the Frieza Force of asking them to hand over the Dragon Ball politely, before then choosing to retaliate with something more direct. Piccolo then decides, after growing bored of all of this talking, to just power up and slam Dodoria out of his exposition. The pink goon goes flying for miles, not knowing what hit him, with Zarbon left looking surprised, but right now, not too worried.
I knew this would happen.
Say, you there? You've not talked. How are you?
He's talking to Nail, by the way.
You've not said a word since we got here. Are you just going to stand there and watch, or are you actually going to do something? Either way, I will make you do something.
Nail calmly gets into position, and then unleashes his own power. Zarbon's scouter is going off, and now the scouter reads that both of these powers are, or more than, 40,000, which makes him immediately regret his actions, and not taking his cohort's worries seriously. Not just one of them, but there's two. They are in the immediate firing line of people who are willing to defend their planet. they're not gonna stop. Zarbon has no choice but to power up to his beast mode immediately, and despite the boost in power, it's not enough to topple the two Namekians. By the time Dodoria flies back into position, he wishes that he should have probably just flown away. Keen to send a message back to Frieza, Piccolo and Nail prolong the beatdown on these two. When it becomes clear that these two have absolutely no answer to their beatdown, Piccolo unleashes his signature technique and spears the pair of them at once with a special beam cannon, after masking his power to try and get into position. The pair of Frieza soldiers collapse to the ground, completely motionless. All the while, their master's eyebrows rise in astonishment. Oh, would you look at that? These slugs aren't as much of a pushover as I thought they were. Shame, really. I kind of liked those two. No matter, though. I'll let them bask in this victory for a while, before crushing their spirit later. Frieza continues to look for the other Dragon Balls on his own, choosing not to call the Ginyu Force yet, because no matter, he's almost done anyway. I think that might turn out, though, to be a big mistake. Nail is relieved to have Piccolo here with him, since it might have been tough to take on both of these guys on his own, as well as ensuring that one of them didn't try and take out Guru without him knowing it. And speaking of Guru, he pipes up from inside the tower.
Nail! Piccolo, I fear that our time together may be about to end.
They rush in and see that Guru is looking even weaker. The potential unlock took its toll, and the Elder is on the verge of passing. He then tells Nail that the only way to stop Frieza would maybe to use the art of Namekian assimilation, or as we know it, fusion. Piccolo recalls this term being bandied about during Guru's crash course earlier, and immediately this sets up a conflict. Might this mean that he would lose his essence and maybe sense of self? Would he just go into Nail's body? Nail is feeling the same way. Since he isn't about to succumb to Frieza's injuries in this timeline, he doesn't see the need to give up his identity and sense of self either. The two of them stare at each other, and this drags on longer and longer, until it's Guru who is starting to cough loudly, showing real frustration.
Nail! Cease this at once! If I die, then there will be nothing left to stop that monster from destroying our home. Join forces with Piccolo.
I can't, Lord Guru. I'm tended to protect you with my life.
Very well. Then you are relieved of your duty.
This shocks both of the warriors.
Without this burden, you are free to do as you see is right for the safety of our people. Choose wisely, Nail.
Nail looks to Piccolo, now feeling quite empty. His only mission for years was to guard Guru and Guru's tower. Since he no longer had that role to do, he had nothing left. He didn't expect that. Piccolo, on the other hand, is on the upswing and compels him to fuse, as this power could be ridiculously huge. Meanwhile, Krillin, Goku and the others are all plotting their next move, with another Dragon Ball acquisition on the horizon, hoping not to run into Frieza. But then Goku senses something. He then spots Dende entering the chamber with a Dragon Ball, and the group are as pleased as punch. But then suddenly, something else catches their attention, as well as Frieza's. Piccolo and Nail have fused together to create a Namekian with the power level of... Well, nobody knows. Since Piccolo's power is now 10 times more than it was when he fused with Nail in the original timeline, and Nail's energy is pretty much full because he's not hurt, this fusion is incredible. You thought Piccolo felt great in the original? Here, he's never felt so good. Nail's essence is still inside him, and thanks to it, he feels even more compelled to avenge Gohan, and he makes a beeline straight for Frieza, this time concealing his power, remembering his previous mistake. Frieza felt a blip on his scouter, but it was only for a split second before dissipating. Stupid contraption! I really should get this upgraded. It's starting to play tricks with me. He's about to bear down on the next village with a Dragon Ball, before he spots a solitary Namekian standing ahead of him. Piccolo. Oh my goodness! You didn't have to go to all of this effort to greet me, random citizen. I was about to do the honors myself. Now, do go and tell your kin I'm here for your Dragon Ball, would you? Piccolo stands still, without saying a word. He can sense Frieza's power, and what once felt mighty and terrifying and absolutely insurmountable barely even flickers his interest. Even he couldn't get a grasp on his power, but he knew Frieza's mattered not to him anymore. Ah, the strong, silent type, are we? Well, I'll make sure you can remain silent for the rest of eternity if you do not stand aside, slug filth. Piccolo throws off his cape and turban and gets into his stance. Cute. Is this one of your, rituals you primitive creatures have or something? Piccolo powers up, and almost at once, Frieza's scouter shatters into pieces, and Frieza is sent flying backwards, being hurled out of his travel pod, not knowing what just happened.
You could say that,
smirks Piccolo. Goku is absolutely blown away by this level from Piccolo. He immediately has to rush out to find him. He wants to see this up close. You know Goku, he's obsessed. He leaves the others to hold the fort, maybe using this diversion perhaps to scoop up the last Dragon Balls. Now without his scouter for sure, he cannot call the Ginyu Force after all. Perhaps Frieza should have done that, but this wasn't something to be scared of still. After all, he has his transformations to fall back on. Right? Piccolo immediately clotheslines Frieza into a mountain, which leaves the Emperor even more nonplussed. Dazed and confused, the tyrant tries to look around for any signs of that jumped-up invertebrate. But since he can't sense energy himself, and he doesn't have any technology to help him, he's a sitting duck. Piccolo then shouts from up above, and this catches Frieza's attention, and then to the hundreds of energy balls circling around his position.
Hey! Are these the balls you wanted so badly? Here! Take them!
Piccolo hunches over, and Frieza is instantly vaporized. Well, fusion, eh? No wonder Piccolo never had his potential unlocked. The saga would have been over way sooner than before if he had. When the smoke clears, Goku has arrived to witness the carnage, congratulate Piccolo, and then actually feel kinda sad that he didn't get a chance to do anything here. It was all just a wasted trip. However, the Namekian is feeling serious all of a sudden. Despite his victory here, he remembers why he came here.
Are the Dragon Balls ready to use?
Goku nods and says that they should have got the balls by now.
Good. Then let's bring back your son.
Porunga is summoned, and the first wish that is made is for Gohan to be revived, which is done. Back on Earth, Gohan wakes up exactly where he stood when Nappa had vaporized him just a few months ago. Not knowing what just happened, he gets up and flies back home. With the second wish, they then try to wish everyone else back who were offed by Frieza and his goons, but Porunga then states that he can only wish back one person at a time. Piccolo then tells Kami via telepathy to gather the Earth Balls to do that wish when they're ready. As for the other two wishes, Piccolo wishes for all the villages destroyed to be restored to their former state, and then, for their last wish, for Namek to be transported to a different location in the universe. Piccolo turns to Goku and says that this is all just in case anyone from the Frieza Force seeking revenge for their fallen leader doesn't get the satisfaction of being able to find Namek. When the time comes for the gang to leave, Piccolo chooses to stay behind on Namek for a while, to help rebuild and also to help Guru in his final days before a new elder is chosen. That's the Nail inside of him.
Also, these warriors are looking a little sloppy and soft. I think I'll train them up a little. But hey, if you need me again, then you know my number. Well, Kami knows my number.
Goku gives him the thumbs up, and with that, the Dragon team head on back to Earth, taking a little longer than before, understandably, since Namek is now in a different place around a different sun system. When they get home, Goku and Gohan are reunited, and the little guy is filled in with what happened, amazed to hear that Mr. Piccolo not only was able to avenge him, but became so strong.
Wow! I knew Mr. Piccolo was cool!
They all laugh as a job well done is indeed done. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now. So what do you guys think? Do you think Piccolo will do a good job training the Namekians up? Now with his conscience cleared, will he return to the Dragon team in time or not? Leave a comment below and let's get this discussion going. And I shall see you in the next video. Catch you later.